Is the music producer community just getting less smart by the day, or are we actually being targeted by a misinformation campaign? Either I believe that there's a big conspiracy against producers, or I believe that I've just been really naive and I give people just way too much credit. Or I just don't know that I have some severe degenerative brain disease and I'm slowly descending into some form of dementia. I don't know. But I got these tweets earlier today, so I'm not the only one who's paranoid about what's going on in the producer community. But I'm here to fight this misinformation campaign for as long as I can. So instead of just sitting here and ranting and complaining, I'm going to give you the facts. But best believe I'm going to talk my shit, because this misinformation war that's being waged against producers, it is exhausting me. And you're going to want to watch this whole video because there's a crazy plot twist. I know I sound like one of those true crime podcasters, but I swear there's a crazy plot twist. I can't make this stuff up. So let me just show you why I'm tired. I put out a really clear and comprehensive sample clearance video last week or the week before. We as producers should really at least know the basics about how the music business works. All the music business is 2 copyrights. That's it. We get them automatically every time we create a recorded piece of music. That's a beat, a song, anything recorded. There's the sound recording copyright, aka the master, and then there's the underlying composition copyright, aka just the composition. And once you understand what this means, you pretty much understand 90% of the music business. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you start there, you just learn incrementally from there. But the loudest people in the room very rarely understand that basic foundation. That's why I'm getting comments such as these. Use the proper terms, man. LOL. It's not the master recording and the composition, it's the mechanical and the publishing. This is a Medium article written by Carl Folks, who is a lawyer who represents a lot of producers. Sampling is rooted in understanding the copyright associated with music. I just said that because I learned from people who know more than me. There are 2 distinct copyrights in each song. There is the sound recording, the master copyright, and then there is the composition copyright. But of course, an experienced lawyer couldn't possibly be smarter than some asshole in the comments section. Let's just Google it. Did you know that every song generally includes 2 copyrights? One is the composition. There's that word, the composition. The other is the master. I probably know people at Google, and I just changed the search results to create this video to make myself look cool and get hoes. Hoes love IP law. This is how much I love you guys. I'm gonna even get to part 2 of this stupid fucking comment. Donna Summer is dead. You'd have to clear it with her estate. LOL, what nonsense is this? You'd clear it with the publisher, nothing to do with her estate. The whole reason I was even bringing up Donna Summer's estate is because Donna Summer's estate is the one suing Kanye West. Let's go to another case. Let's go to the Blurred Lines case. In March 2015, the jury ruled in favor of the gay estate. Notorious Big's estate filed a lawsuit over a sample. Carnival Cruise Lines, you need to sponsor my video and give me a free vacation, because I need to get out of here. Here's some more amazing misinformation we got to knock out. Splice is free until you make a hit record, and I believe DistroKid clears samples for a small fee. So stuff like this is damaging to the producer community, because a lot of people just read that comment. It seems so truthful. It's just this clear, straightforward comment, and then they run with it and they think, oh, I can't use Splice, and cool, I can sample whatever I want because DistroKid will just clear it for me. And yay, I use DistroKid. Unfortunately, DistroKid doesn't clear shit. I don't know where this person came up with that. I have sources for everything I say here. DistroKid can help with covers. DistroKid cannot help with samples. DistroKid cannot help with samples. I guarantee you I'm going to get a comment, someone saying, no, you're wrong, DistroKid can help with samples. What about Splice though? They're royalty free. Blast has a hit song that uses a Splice sample. He doesn't owe Splice anything. They're royalty free. But just for those of you out there who are paranoid, what about other sites such as waves.com? Are they tricking you? No. These reputable websites like waves.com, like the Sample Lab, they have very clear royalty rates. Go to the site. Not understanding how sample clearance works shows a misunderstanding of copyright law. And again, like I said, copyright is the basis to the music business. If you don't understand the basics of copyright law, you just don't understand the music business. That's the problem with a lot of people in the producer community. And there's nothing wrong with not understanding, but there's definitely something wrong with sharing bad information, the wrong information, and basing your career and all of your actions on that. So here's another goofball. If you're getting he's already losing. If you're getting a beat placed and you use a loop, 50% of your publishing rights belong to the person who made the loop. We just covered this. That's verifiably not true and also stupid. If you get a sample cleared, you're entitled to all your publishing for the beat. If you sample a song and get it cleared, 100% of the publishing for that beat is yours. If you clear a sample, not only will you not own 100% of the underlying composition of that track, you may very well own 0% of it. I thought everybody knew this. Let's use a big song as a reference for this. Kanye West, Through the Wire. So what BMI does is it catalogs the owners of the underlying composition for every song. That's what a PRO does, because they pay out performance royalties based on the equity of a songwriter in an underlying composition. Again, this goes back to IP law. If you understand that, you understand the whole music business. So we have writers and composers listed here: David Foster, Tom Keene, Cynthia Weil. Who are these people? I'll tell you. For that song, for Through the Wire, Kanye West sampled Shaka Khan's Through the Fire. Who are the songwriters of that song? David Foster, Tom Keene, Cynthia Weil. They all co-own Kanye West's song because he sampled them. If there's ever a question about this stuff, go to these ACE title searches. All the PROs have them. Well, BMI and ASCAP, I know for a fact, have them. I'm American, so those are the two that I have access to. Here's another really, I think, blatantly stupid lie, but one that I can see some producers falling for just because it sounds like there might be a bit of truth to it. This guy swears you can sample foreign songs. They're fine. Dr. Dre was one of the most high-profile producers that was sued by a Bollywood artist, as far as I know, way back in 2003. So we've dealt with that. That's easy work. Let's get deep into the bullshit. So I told this story on the At Odds podcast. Basically, in a nutshell, I dropped a sample pack that was part of my Damn That Hurt Volume 4 drum kit available on djpain1beats.com. And in that pack, I include a README file with very clear instructions on what I need if you get a placement with one of these samples. Someone got a placement with one of these samples on a major project, and instead of handling business, what they did was, when the major label sent them the paperwork, they just ignored it because they didn't understand. And that meant he didn't get paid, and I didn't get paid because he never even told me about it. Had he told me about it, I would have said, cool, you don't understand paperwork? Fine. Let's get a lawyer together. We'll figure this out. Because that very same major label that released this track paid me $5,000 last year for a placement with a smaller artist. So we could have made some money. He could have too. I mean, now it's ongoing. Now I just got to fight for myself, and that's being handled. But this story caused so much controversy when I released that episode. My own friends were telling me they didn't believe me. This isn't the craziest story, though. Wait for that. That's coming. But I reached out to the producer directly, and trust me, I was skeptical too, just as the people in the comment section were, that this guy was lying. I thought he was lying. There's no way that someone just sent him, a label just sent him paperwork and he ignored it. Without getting too specific, he said he reached out to someone who handles publishing, etc., someone that I know very well. So I texted that person and said, this is his name, this is what he's claiming. He said he reached out to you with this paperwork from the label and you refused to help him. My friend shared me a screenshot of their conversation. The guy absolutely did reach out, but he's the one that didn't reply back. So it's like he just didn't want to handle this. I don't know. And I feel like that goes back to the whole spirit of me making this video. If the internet producer community focused more on spreading good information, I don't think situations like this would happen, because the guy would feel a little less afraid of a label contract and more comfortable reaching out to somebody for help. But all this misinformation just confuses us and really hurts all of us, no matter who we are. A lot of people were saying, well, there's no way that a label would do this. Labels don't drop songs without handling all of the clearances and getting everyone to sign off on it. Bullshit. Billboard.com wrote an article about this. We covered this on the At Odds podcast. A lot of the songwriters and producers from Travis Scott's last album, which dropped last year, still haven't gotten paid and still haven't even signed paperwork. The agreements haven't even been fully executed. And this is one of the biggest hip-hop projects of the last year, released by a major label. What they also say in the article is, artists, managers, and entertainment attorneys say it is increasingly common for acts to put out an album first and figure out the clearances later. This is happening all the time. It happened to me. Now, a lot of people were saying, okay, good. You have all the leverage in the situation. You didn't sign off on anything. You're in a good position. I don't want to be in this position because this is the pain in the ass, and to have to deal with this stuff, I don't feel like is a blessing. There are like 3 other sample makers that he sampled on this project and put in a terrible position. And all of us now have to harass lawyers, pay for lawyers, deal with all of the financial burden of hunting people down, and the time and the energy invested into just getting something. All you had to do was give us 20%. That's all you had to do. So when I got comments defending the guy saying, oh, you shouldn't call him stupid, that's so lame. Number one, if you're so sensitive that me calling a stupid person stupid offends you, maybe you shouldn't use language that's insensitive to the disability community. And the music producer community has this idea that lawyers just come in and are this magic bullet. But the lawyer reached out to the labels and the labels ignored the lawyer. And then the lawyer kept trying and finally was like, look, my hands are tied. We're going to have to file a DMCA takedown. So when they filed the takedown, what happened? YouTube, who's in bed with the labels, decided alongside the labels that they weren't going to honor the takedown. So now what happens? Now you have to start getting more aggressive. And this is more of a burden on the producer because now they have to fight the label even more. They have to invest more money and more time. The lawyer has to do more work. Now, I told my story. I posted it as a reel on Instagram, and this producer had the nerve to blame me for this whole situation. He had this to offer. He said, the reason the label was able to steal my original sample, my copyrighted material, and release it without my permission is because I didn't register the copyrights. People love pushing this narrative that you don't own your work until you've registered it through some sort of formal process. This is the U.S. Copyright Office. They say right here in plain English, even if your IQ is as low as your follower count, this is easy to understand. Your work is under copyright protection the moment it's created and fixed in tangible form that is perceptible either directly or with the aid of a machine or device. Right? So when you make the beat and you can hear the beat and it's there, you own it. That's what the federal government says. Now here's the plot twist we've all been waiting for. This commenter, whose brain activity is about as lively as Rush Limbaugh, is actually even more moronic than I originally assessed. He's a sound designer. He sells sample packs. Let's see what this genius of copyright scholarship and musical originality has been dropping. Checked out his samples. I was automatically turned off by the cover art because he's using images of harm against children to market his sample packs. And I am muting the audio so I don't get a copyright claim against this video. Because as you can see, he is selling uncleared samples to producers and claiming he owns them. All he does is add some stupid fake vinyl sound to a Michael Jackson song, a Diana Ross song, a Gladys Knight song, just to name a few. He is ripping off the biggest, best, and most well-protected pieces of modern musical intellectual property, and then claiming I'm the one who doesn't understand copyright. And this shows you how deep the misinformation campaign against the music producer community. It's not just people who are aspiring musicians who just are ignorant because they haven't read a Donald Passman book yet. These are grown adults trying to destroy the music producer community from within out. So if you have legal questions, please contact reputable music attorneys and even music attorneys. More on this. I'm going to be talking about this on a podcast episode the next time I record one, because there's some other weird stuff going on even in the online music attorney space. But most of your questions probably have to do with just basic intellectual property law, right? So you can go to copyright.gov. They have an FAQ that's really informative and it's written in plain English. Same with the BMI website. Same with the ASCAP website. You can read the Donald Passman book. Get a library card. Your local library would really appreciate you getting a library card because I believe they get more funding based on how many card holders there are in their area. And unfortunately nowadays, with whatever's going on in the producer community, whether it's a conspiracy to wage a misinformation campaign against us, or it's just a critical mass of morons and bitch-ass producers just spreading lies, it puts us in a position to have to double and triple check and cross-reference the information that we come by, because anyone can leave a comment, anyone can make a YouTube video. And if I ever put out information that is verifiably false, please let me know and drop a source as a link so I can investigate it and print a retraction, because I don't want to be a part of dumbing down the producer community. Because if that producer that had gotten a placement with my loop hadn't been a moron, hadn't been afraid to just handle his paperwork like a grown adult, I could have enjoyed and celebrated that moment when that record dropped on a major label and gotten some money and not had to sit here and spin my wheels with my management and a legal team. So be safe. Mistakes are going to happen, but there are plenty of people who are spreading good information and are even encouraging you to learn from their mistakes and from their mishaps. Hopefully you've learned from this mishap that I just told you about, and hopefully this video helps dispel some myths and some misinformation that maybe you have gotten a hold of over the years just existing within the music producer community. Much success to you.